Police Minister Mark Mitchell joins us live. Minister, good morning.
Good morning, Ryan.
Does there need to be a ministerial inquiry into this?
So we feel like the IPCA report has been so thorough, so good and so detailed that at this stage that's not a consideration. Nothing is off the table. Obviously we're doing several reviews. One of those is around how best now we structure a Inspector General to come in over the top of police to have more visibility on actually what's going on. But no, not at this point.
When you say not at this point, what will change your mind? This is an IPCA report. Yes, it's detailed, but this cuts to the core of public trust in one of the most important institutions in the country.
Yeah, and like I said, we just felt initially like the IPCA report is just so thorough. They've gone into so much detail and they have covered everything off. But a government inquiry is not a decision just for me. That's a broader decision, and it's something that the government can look at later if it needs to.
I just spoke to Richard Chambers, and he says quite clearly he thinks this whole thing was a cover-up, that this was self-interested, and the senior leaders, including Costa, were covering up for their friend, for their colleague who was trying to get a better job. And I know that you agree with that. You were told about this on November the 6th. Costa didn't start his new job with government, hired by Nicola Willis or recommended by Nicola Willis, didn't start that new job until November 11th. Who did you tell between the 6th and the 11th?
So the information that was brought forward to me was brought forward by Andrew Costa as the outgoing police commissioner.
What did he say?
And
did he say that? Did he say that he knew about all of this stuff and didn't pass it on?
No, he briefed me on the situation with Jevon McSkibbing and the investigation that was currently going on in front of through the IPCA. And after that meeting, it was simply my concern. It was not about Andrew Costa at that point. Obviously, with the IPCA report coming out now, it is obviously about Andrew Costa because he was the commissioner at a time when we've seen atrocious behaviour by the entire police executive.
Yes. So
and yes, I agree with you to subvert a process. But if you let me finish, so he briefed me. So he briefed me on the 6th, and on the 7th, I met with the Public Service Commission and the Solicitor General to bring forward my concerns around the situation with Jevon McSkibbing.
Right. So he rings you, Costa, and he says, hey, that thing is happening with McSkibbing, and he had this affair with a younger woman who was a police employee. Did you ask him, when did you find out, Andy?
Yeah, I asked him for the whole. I asked a lot of detail around it. I wanted to know the details on it.
Okay.
Because I was, to be honest with you, Ryan, I was not at that point. I was not that comfortable with it, and that is why I called a meeting on the 7th with PSC and the Solicitor General to bring forward those concerns.
Right, and were your concerns about McSkibbing or about Costa?
They were about McSkibbing and his behaviour. At that point, the integrity issues have come forward through the IPCA.
Yes, I know,
report to all of us.
You asked
so we've got visibility on that.
But Minister, you asked Costa when he found out. So what did he tell you? Did he lie to you then, or was he telling the truth? And why couldn't you see it for what it was?
Oh no,
he was covering up.
No, he was fully aware of it. My line of questioning was around Jevon McSkibbing and his behaviour and his actions towards the young lady. That was my line of questioning. It wasn't. There wasn't any evidence. There wasn't any integrity issues brought forward other than my focus on Jevon McSkibbing, and you would have seen that I acted quickly on suspending him, and then of course recommending to the Prime Minister that he lose his job because I'd lost confidence in him. But that my focus was on McSkibbing and the young lady at that point.